I spend a lot of time trawling companies' websites and figuring out basically like what kind of jobs they've got. So I go to their like career pages and see what they're applying for, because it's a really good way of figuring out information about a company that would otherwise be quite difficult to discover. So like, unless the company has like a GitHub page or something like that, there's no way of knowing either A, if they write their own software, or B, what kind of software they write. Unless they have a careers page, in which case they say, we want a Java developer or a Golang developer or etc. But I just stumbled upon one, which I wasn't looking at approaching because they seem pretty big. But they love, wait, so some of the things they want you to have experience with is Azure, Docker, .NET Core. So keywords there are .NET Core and Docker and Azure. All of them pretty new, but they want for a senior developer role at least 10 years experience in .NET or C#. So 10 years ago, the version of .NET that was released was 4. When I'm on like 4.7.2, guarantee you anything that you've ever written 10 years ago is not applicable anymore. Docker didn't exist 10 years ago. That's for fucking certain. Azure might have done, but I doubt it. Like, come on. A .NET Core is like 4 years old, max. Yeah, I love seeing shit like that. It's like, it must have at least 10 years of C# experience. So what you want is, you want a load of people who have outdated developing standards and outdated knowledge of the industry. Or otherwise, there's no point. Like, why? Why do you want someone from 10 years ago? Unless you've actually secretly got some shit that's written in like C# version 2. And that's your way of saying it. You want someone with an understanding of legacy programming languages, because you've been around long enough to be there when they existed. So yeah, good times. I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to be approaching them in a way. They are far too big for me. And they're London based, which isn't good. I would prefer them to be local so that I can go there easily. I've slept on my neck funny last night. I woke up this morning, I could barely even move my neck. I'm like loosening it up a bit, trying to get a bit of the old wiggle movement in there. But I've been for my initial walk, and this morning I came in and I've been researching this company. I've approached them before, but I'm going to change, like I say, I'm changing tact of how and who I contacted these companies. So that's what I'm doing, really, this far. Also, I know my hair looks absolutely fucking crazy, okay? I'm getting it cut tomorrow, all right? That does, I think, mean that I have to leave the house and go to a co-working thing tomorrow with my hair not gelled, which is like sacrilege. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I might have to gel it a little bit in the morning and then go to the hairdressers and be like, oh yeah, sorry, lol. Not like a failed member of the Beatles and it's not gelled up, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so that's that. But today I'm going out later to go to a networking thing this evening, which I'm really not looking forward to. But it's going to be different, and it's one of them things you just got to try, you know? I'm feeling good, ladies and gentlemen. I feel like I'm hitting a rhythm, you know? I feel like I'm really like getting, which is a bizarre thing to say on a week where I've complained, actually, about how many things I've got to do that aren't, oh, fuck me. Yeah, on a week where I've got a lot of things to do that aren't work, and like, I've got quite a full week, I'm hitting quite a good rhythm of like, right, do this now, do that, generate this, generate that. I'm doing it in a relatively like good and like meaningful amount of time. I'm just having my cup of tea. 10 minutes early, actually. I normally have tea at 10 o'clock or just after. And it's just before because I've just finished doing a load of emails and whatnot. And I'm now going to get into some programming. And to be honest with you, the only real thing that's like difficult for me to start and get into is new development stuff, if that makes any kind of sense at all. I always find it quite difficult to just like start a new story. I don't know why, like it takes me like a bit of, not a run up, but like effort to start it. And then as soon as I've started it, I'm fine. But yeah, so, but I feel like I'm doing quite well. I'm basically doing a story a day, dev-wise. which is good, especially considering the size of the stories, because they're not small. And I'm doing quite a lot of all the other stuff as well, and I'm enjoying it as well. It's good fun. So yeah, I just middle of the morning check in to say all's great here, with the exception of my neck, which feels like shit. Why? I've been doing this for basically an entire month now, and after this month, it'll be the last month where my bank account still goes up. So after this, it's going to start going down because of when I got paid and all that kind of stuff. So it's going well. And to be fair, a month in, maybe I should be in a rhythm by now. And to be honest with you, we are quite a long way into September now. And the rest of September is, well, this week and the beginning of next week is going to be relatively unproductive, which is a little bit disappointing because I do... sorry, there's an envelope there addressed to Laura's work. Like, it's Laura's name and then her work address, and it's just sat on the side with a stamp on it, and I'm like, is that to be sent out, or... Did her work send her a card in the post to work? I'm gonna have to ask her about that. That's weird. But yeah, like a month in, I probably shouldn't have a system down now, and I should be like relatively comfortable. But I'm not. Yeah, I'm pretty proud of it. Having said that, the goal for the end of September was to get these pipelines running in the cloud. And that might be difficult. That might be a tough goal to hit, but I'm going to try and fucking hit it. So it's going to be difficult to hit while I'm still pumping time into everything else. The one thing that has slipped is blogs. But I might be able to do some of that tomorrow when I go to the co-working thing in the morning. So tonight I'm going to a networking thing, which is dubbed as networking like you've never done it before. And there's like a comedian. It's like there might be singing. The last networking thing I went to terrified me, but I enjoyed it. It was terrifying and I hated it, but I enjoyed it. That makes sense. So this one is going to be similar, I guess. I kind of know more or less how to approach it. Tomorrow I need to get my hair cut, and I'm going to a co-working thing in the morning. So it's like a full day thing, but I think me spending more than the morning there is a bit too excessive. So I'm planning on going there, getting it done, and then going there, writing my blog, which I have missed my Thursday upload for my blog, which I only promised the vlog that I'd upload a blog every week, if it was a technical blog like that. But I'm going to do it every 2 weeks for this one, like I have been consistently for a while now. And then I also need to get my hair cut tomorrow. I need to service the car, because I need to put oil in. I bought car oil yesterday. To put some more oil in it. By service it, I mean I need to put some oil in it, and maybe put some windscreen wiper fluid in. But yeah, it's gonna be, like I say, a busy couple of days. But we're in a good rhythm, you know. The thing that's making me resistant to moving on programming stuff is because it's all new things. Like I'm building out new microservices and new data models and all that kind of stuff, and it's one of those things where I am struggling. I don't want to build something that's wrong. So I don't really have I'm always trying to second guess whether or not I'm doing it right. And I think, because it feels like this microservice, let's talk frankly about it. This microservice is effectively dependent on two other microservices. It's gluing together two different services. It needs data, it needs them to have prepped something so that it can then do its thing. It's kind of like a checkout service, how it needs like something else to get everything ready, like the basket ready or whatever. Or like the order service. It needs the orders, it needs a payment to have gone through before it can do all of its stuff. But the problem with that is that like, it's not quite as clean cut for me. I effectively need to do things based on the state of the things that are in the other services. It's not like they've finished with them. They can still modify them if they really wanted to. So it almost feels like I'm duplicating the logic. It's like, oh, so if you've updated the data in here, I need to know about it in my service because I effectively need to turn off, effectively. If you've deactivated your pipeline, I now need to turn off so that you don't run stuff. But it then feels like I'm just duplicating the sagas across. That was how I was doing it, anyway. Well, I've realised I need to change tact, just ever so slightly. I came downstairs for an orange because I drank a cup of tea again and made myself feel a bit sick. Always happens in the morning. But yeah, so it's an interesting like little problemo that I need to solve. But I think I've changed it. The problem was that I was trying to collate information about the repository and the pipeline into one thing called the repository saga. And that means I was trying to change the state. There's a load of complicated states to do with the pipelines. It could be either activated, deactivated, could be invalid, could be updated or whatever into a valid state. There's lots of like complex things that roll around with that. But it doesn't necessarily mean that they need to that those things affect the state of the repository, if that makes sense. So I was like, maybe I should split this out to a repository saga and a pipeline saga, but then I'm literally duplicating the code from the one microservice. The pipeline microservice has a repository saga, which is doing very little. And that's what I'm going to have here, but I've figured out a mapping. I'm going to create something known as a test subject. I feel like an old man with my neck here. Yeah, I'm going to create something called a test subject saga. And that saga is going to have a slightly more complicated model. But yeah, it's really odd because I think I can do all of this with a combination of sagas rather than having like a saga and a domain. I don't think this needs a domain model at this stage until it kicks something off. No, it does. It does, because the saga should be maintained in the state of... I'm thinking out loud now. It does, because the saga should be maintained in the live state, and it should update its concept of the state whenever it's changed meaningfully. Yeah, okay. Right, okay. Okay, cool. Beans. So... So I'm going to create a test subject saga, which is created when repositories are linked, and then has pipeline state stored within it. That way, as soon as it gets to the point where it's like active and when it's like ready, it then populates that microservices database and like kind of caches it. Then whenever you change this, the deactivated events happen immediately, so it'll automatically deactivate it. Technically, the saga is the one that's marshalling what's allowed to happen over here anyway. So anything you did before it went active is allowed, but before it got deactivated is allowed. Right, okay, cool, I know what I'm doing. Stop talking, Joey, just fucking do it. I definitely feel more confident about this new approach, ladies and gentlemen, even though I've like had to backpedal a little bit. I'm looking for my hoodie. So whenever I have lunch, I get cold. I eat my sandwich, and then after I'm like, oh god, I'm so cold. Starting to like worry about this. You know how I don't like doing things in the middle of the day because I feel like I'm waiting for them. It's now the middle of the day and I don't like doing things in the evening because I feel like I'm waiting for it. And I'm finding it difficult to get into programming. And it's really annoying because the weather is bloody beautiful outside. It's perfect longboard weather. But I don't think I can take my longboard to something like this. I feel like it's a bit too, like, raggedy, you know? And I feel like it's not like the kind of thing where it's a small room, I'm putting it in the corner and I can keep an eye on it, you know what I mean? I mean, it's not the kind of place where it gets stolen, granted, but yeah, I'm trying to get into some programming. I've been like, shall I go down into town early so I can sit at my office and get some work done before I go there? Because that usually works. It makes me feel like I'm closer, I don't have to worry about it as much. Or I'm just losing focus. I need to get focus again. That's what I really need to do. I feel like I've made some bad decisions vis-a-vis these pipeline states. Because, like, so you can edit it, you can update it, you can edit it and you can update it, and then you can activate it and deactivate it. So your activation and deactivation is obviously like an on-off switch, effectively. You turn it on and off. And then you've got your update system, which allows you to edit it, but you can edit it without turning it off. It's really complicated. It's really confusing because they kind of like interplay with each other. And now this microservice needs to figure out whether or not it's waiting for a new update. And it's really knocking my brain for six, man. I can't concentrate on it. I can't figure it out. So I found a bug in the other way that I was going to do this. I figured out. I don't know why this is wrapping my head in so many noodles. It's because I'm trying. I feel like it's because I'm trying to, like, the pipeline is this thing, but it's also not. Oh, it's hot. The temperature, it was so cold this morning, and the temperature has just skyrocketed. It's so hot, and it's making me question about what my plan should be. I kind of wanted to go into town tonight, travelling light, but it doesn't really make sense because I've got to basically utilise, because of the time that it is, like it's 6 o'clock, but if I tried to get a bus at the time I'd need to get a bus to get there for 6 o'clock, I wouldn't be able to get one because A, there's loads of traffic going into town, and all the buses are at the other side of town because they are all prepping to pull people out at 5ish. So I'd have to leave around 5 because of the traffic, and there won't be any buses. So it doesn't make any sense to. But obviously, if I go early, then I'm going to have to take something with me to do when I'm there. And that means taking my laptop bag at the very least, and then go to my office. Fucking flies, man. If you're I've got like 3 flies out of this room so far today, mate. Let's get the fuck out. So I've got laptop, glasses, the things I need to get into my office, wallets on the table right in front of me right now, and headphones. That should be enough, right? And then I should get there for about 4:30. I can stay in my office for about an hour, get an hour's worth of work done, and then head over slowly. Try not to burn in the sun. It's so goddamn hot. I assume it's going to stay hot later. Hey Google, what's the temperature in Bristol at 9 o'clock today? I assume it's going to stay warm. Yeah, that's warm enough. I don't need a hoodie for that. I ain't no girl. I ain't no puss. I stuttered over whether or not to say that then. Lol. So, phone keys, yeah. Right, I've got everything I need. I just need to regel my hair, jazz myself up a little bit, and then go, I guess. Not bad, quite a productive little session. A bit like an hour and a half-ish. Well, an hour and like 15 minutes odd. Doing a bit of planning, pre-networking, networking via email and whatnot, and prepping an email out to get ready to send tomorrow. It's so bright, I can't see. I recently found this little cut through. I've never noticed it before, but it's quite a good opportunity to vlog if you want to vlog, you know? Yeah, on any other day where this was an event that I knew, I'd bring my longboard and not bring a bag. But I don't know where I can put my longboard. I am bricking it. I'm not gonna lie to you, I hate shit like this. I'm gonna walk into a room of people and then you just gotta like start a conversation with someone. God damn it. Genuinely, so far in my comfort zone with these things, it's unreal. Yeah, it was interesting. I'll call it interesting, but I didn't like it. So it was run by a guy who started a company that does meetings like, basically it's church for people who aren't religious. So like you get people together to connect and like sing and do all the things you normally do in a church, but without the God bit. And that should have been like the first red flag. But we got there and then there was singing, and there was dancing, and there was like getting energy and stuff. It was weird. It was really fucking weird. I felt heckin' out my place, big time. I also felt like I got a bit fucking ganged up on a bit. Whereas the first person who spoke to me on the way in was the guy who was hosting it, who was like the tallest person. He's like this big compared to me. I'm pretty tall. Well, I don't think I am tall, but I'm tall for my generation. For humans, but for my generation, I'm not tall. He's like here, and he's like the loudest person you've ever spoken to in your life. Talked to him on my way in. It's also sponsored by a company who seem to have just filled the room with their own employees, because I don't think they got that many people to go. I don't know. So, to be fair, it is a weird sell to people, to be honest with you. But yeah, so everyone I spoke to was either that guy or the employees of the company. So I was then became, you know, that time when I did a first aid course and then nearly passed out halfway through it, and then I became the conversation point for talking about people passing out from that point on. So because he spoke to me on the way in, I was now the person that we spoke about, and I was like, oh, Jamie's just quit his job, he started his own thing, and blah blah blah, and oh god damn it. It was really awkward. It was interesting. It was an interesting format if you removed all of the dancing and singing and energy bullshit. I think two things it's done is it means that it's made me aware of the fact that I'm just going to stick to the ones that are for like techie people, and a bit more serious, a bit more rigid. I like that. And it also made the other one seem so much normaler. I really need to work on my ability to walk into a room where there's groups of people talking, and then just walk into one of those groups. You know, I can't do that. I really can't do that. I rely way too heavily on people coming to talk to me. It's not good. It's not good at all. But yeah, so I left. I did a runner basically. Once it had finished, I was like, oh, I'm not doing any of the networky bits after. To be fair, a lot of the people in the room, it wasn't really my crowd, particularly. Everyone I spoke to were in sectors that didn't really cross apply to me, because it was a more broad event rather than the events that are more technology focused. But yeah, it was interesting, eye-opening to say the least. I'll not make a habit of that one. But yeah, came back, had some toast, watched TV. Laura fell asleep. Laura's falling asleep now. I'm gonna have to go downstairs. Betty's just back asleep again. I'll go downstairs and be like, go to bed. But yeah, this is another 20-minute video on its own. I need to end the vlog again, don't I? Thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Tomorrow, we've got a bit more running around. Got to go to their hairdressers, and I'm going to do the co-working thing in town tomorrow. So come back tomorrow for more fun stuff. Yeah, I'll let you know what I'm doing tomorrow. It's not how it works anymore, boys. Come back later. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you later.